Welcome to episode 147, 5 Things to Let Go of in the New Year. With a new year on the horizon, it's the perfect time to reflect on everything 2022 brought. While you might be making resolutions about what you want to do more of, what about what you're letting go of? Less can definitely be more, and releasing these 5 things will open you up to a world of possibilities. But first, is your style in need of a jumpstart? Then I have just the thing for you. Find Your Signature Style is my flagship course, and it is a culmination of everything I have been teaching my clients for 14 years. This course gives you exactly what you need to build the foundation for your style, to build your wardrobe, to learn how to love shopping, and to fall in love with your style. Whether you feel like you don't have a style, you've lost your style, or your style just needs a little bit of a jump start, this is exactly the course for you. Designed to give you all the elements you need in 3 simple steps. We make finding your style as easy as 1, 2, 3. Click the link in the show notes or go to findyoursignaturesstyle.com and get ready to rock your style today. Welcome to Style by Michele, a podcast designed to empower you through personal style. I'm your host, Michele Nidifer, a master style coach, founder of Style Finder Boutique, and creator of the Style Finder ID system. I'm here to help you know what to wear, how to wear it, and how to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. Let's go. Well, hello, beautiful. Welcome. Another Christmas has come and gone, and it is so hard to believe that it flew by as quickly as it did. It seems like every year, I was talking to my son the other day, and I said, you know what? Every year, it seems like after Halloween, November 1st, people start bringing out the Christmas decorations, and we always kind of complain about, oh, why are people decorating so early? But then I realized, oh my gosh, it's over. It's over in a moment, it seems. And I feel like, wow, we really didn't have as much time as I thought to enjoy all those Christmas decorations. So I really have started to just take it slower, appreciate things a little bit more, scale back a little bit. But we had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. We did things a little bit differently, and I got to spend a little bit more time with my family. And then we got to spend plenty of time with the kids. So it was nice. It was leisurely, and it was not rushed, which I loved. And a couple of years ago, I really started to enjoy Christmas more and stop the rushing and stop the frantic pace. Because it can be so easy to get caught up in. It's like, oh my God, we got to be here. We've got to be here. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to be, and for a little late for something, I would rather be late than, rush around and arrive all frazzled and freaked out. So we had a great year, had a great holiday, and we're visiting with friends and family this week, and just really just taking it slow and enjoying it and loving it. Not loving this cold weather, though. So if you're here in the South, we have had some crazy cold weather, and I am about ready for some warm weather. So hopefully soon. But today we're talking about what to let go of in the new year. And I really wanted to share this today because I don't know if you make New Year's resolutions, but years ago, I actually stopped making resolutions. I have goals instead, but I also think about, what am I letting go of? Because I think as we strive towards goals and step into the person that we're becoming, so much about our growth is about what we're letting go of. And I don't think we always stop to acknowledge it. So I really wanted to talk about 5 things to let go of in the new year that I think can really help you to step into a better version of yourself and to really reach the goals that you want, whatever they happen to be. But these 5 things can definitely hold you back if you're not acknowledging them, if you're not cognizant of these things. So I just, want to throw these out, food for thought. And share, these are some things I've been letting go of and releasing, and it just feels really, really good. So the first one, this is a big one. And I think this can be easy or it can be a real challenge, depending, but I think it starts with an awareness. And the first one is negative people. Release negative people from your life. Wow, that sounds a little harsh, doesn't it? But if you think about it, I have always heard from mentors and from so many books I've read that we are the sum total of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And if you think about the people that you're with the most, are they negative and bring you down? Those people that just complain about everything and something's always wrong, and they just can never seem to be happy. And they never are happy for you. And so that can be very, very draining on your energy. And I know if it's a relative or if it's your partner or your husband or your kids, it can be challenging to say, hey, I'm not going to just let you go. But what you can do is start to be more mindful and to notice, and then choose your time wisely. Limit your time, or maybe you kind of circumvent the conversation. I've gotten really, really good at that. When I'm around somebody negative and they just want to complain, I'll really just shift the conversation and start talking about something else. And I'm not discounting what they're saying. I'm just shifting the conversation. We end up having a great conversation a lot of times. Sometimes I just have to walk away. And there are some people in my life I have just had to release over the years. Friends, I've had a couple of friends over the years, not in recent years, but over the years, who just have been very negative. And with what I'm doing, where I am in my life and where I want to go, I choose to be around people who are uplifting and supportive. And it doesn't mean I only want to be around people who are happy 24/7, because that's certainly not reality. But what it does mean is that you're around people who are enjoying their life. They're not just complaining all the time. And I know some people who complain all the time, and I limit my time around them. Friends or family or whoever, I limit the time that we spend, and I can love them from afar. I can love them from a distance. And I know that when I'm with them, okay, this is how it's going to be. I can't change them, but I can choose who I spend my time with, and I can choose what we talk about. If they go down a negative rabbit hole, then I don't have to participate. And so think about that, because that is one of the fastest ways to bring yourself down. It's to be around negative people. And there are a lot of negative people in this world, sadly. I think it takes effort to be positive, to be happy, to be joyful. Happiness is a choice. But when you choose it and you commit to it, it is life-changing. The second thing I encourage you to let go of, that I am letting go of, well, I've let go of this a while back, but guilt for doing the things you love. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I'd love to, but my husband doesn't want me to. It's too much time away from the kids. It's too much money. I can't do that right now. We're really good at making up excuses for why we can't do something and telling ourselves that we just can't, making ourselves the martyr and putting our dreams on hold. We women have gotten really, really, really good at that. And why? We deserve better. We deserve to go after what we want. We deserve to treat ourselves. I treated myself a lot this year. And I tell you what, I feel more fulfilled than I ever have in my entire life. And one of the big things I treated myself to was my trip to Paris in September. I went on my very first solo vacation. Now, I've traveled a lot solo, but it's always been for business. This was my first solo vacation to another country. And I felt 0.0 guilt. I got there and was like, I am so happy. Now, my husband was totally on board with it, fortunately. But I didn't feel any guilt for taking time away from my family, for spending the money. I just enjoyed every moment of it. And you know what I realized is that because I was there and I was fully present for this experience and I treated myself and I invested in some things along the way. I came back with a beautiful handbag and treated myself to beautiful meals and food and, all sorts of things. And I mean, I didn't do anything crazy extravagant. I didn't do anything I didn't plan to do. But I felt so fulfilled and nourished and pampered and taken care of on so many levels. And I think it's because I said yes to me. I didn't make myself wrong for wanting to go to Paris. I didn't make myself wrong for wanting to purchase a handbag or go on tours or travel or any of it. I embraced it. I said, this is what I love. This is what lights me up. And my friends noticed, they were like, every time you talk about going to Paris, you just light up. You're like, yeah, they could just tell. And so saying yes to myself and not depriving myself of what I truly desired fueled me in so many ways. And I brought that energy back to my relationship, back to my family, back to my career, back to our business, back to the podcast, because I know you guys have heard about Paris so much. You're probably tired of it. But there was no guilt. And I know there are several people that are in my life, and they can kind of be martyrs. They do for everybody else. And they talk about what they want, but then they just find every excuse in the book for not getting the massage or booking the trip or taking the time away or asking somebody to come in and watch a sick relative or taking time for themselves. And you know what I've seen happen, though, is that when you don't do the things you love to do, what I know to be true is that, what we resist persists. And then you end up overeating or overdrinking or overspending or overindulging or overdoing it in some other way because you have this void, because there's this void that needs to be filled. And so if you find yourself with this, behavior, and you're like, I don't know why I'm eating so much or drinking so much or spending so much or doing whatever it is, it could be anything. It could be because you're not giving yourself what you truly desire. It could be that your basic desires, I'm not talking about your needs. I'm not talking about your basic needs like food and shelter and water, but I'm talking about those things you really desire. Like maybe it's a weekend away. Maybe it's a new handbag. Maybe it is some nice new clothes. Maybe it's just a lunch out with a girlfriend or a trip with your husband or a trip by yourself. Whatever it is, maybe you would be better off just saying yes to you. What would happen? I want you to think about releasing guilt for doing the things you love. And if that feels scary to you, maybe you start small. Maybe you say, ooh, I could go sit in my favorite coffee shop during regular work hours and actually work from the coffee shop or play hooky. Indulge yourself. Trust your desires because your desires are there to lead you to where you want to be. And generally, if you have a desire for something, it's something that's meant for you. It's meant to be part of your experience. And it's not meant to make you guilty. And it's not meant to make you feel guilty. So think about releasing, letting go. I know when I could let go of the guilt, it was a game changer. And I feel like I'm so much more fulfilled and I'm not tiptoeing, walking around on eggshells, worried about, what if somebody finds out? What if I do this? No, I embrace it. I embrace it. And I love it. And I love the energy that I'm able to then bring back to my life. The third thing to let go of in the new year, self-doubt. That's right, ladies. You are far more powerful and more amazing than you will ever know. And I want you to think about, if you have any self-doubt, what is that self-doubt costing you? What are you doubting for yourself? Are you keeping yourself small? Maybe you're saying, well, I can't write that book. Well, I can't start a podcast. Well, I can't take that trip. Well, I'm not good enough. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I'm going to tell you a secret. We all have self-doubt. Everyone, I think, in this world, on this planet, has doubted themselves. And I think it's the people that you think would never doubt themselves that have also doubted themselves. It's just natural. It's human. But it's when you can work through the self-doubt and make your purpose, make your passion greater than your self-doubt. That is when things shift. I was listening to a podcast today, and there was an author, and he was talking about how he was going through a very challenging time in his life. He had cancer, and he had a mantra, and his mantra was something to the effect of, I will live to be 100 years old but it wasn't for him. It was for his wife, and it was for his children. And every time he doubted that he would get better, he would read his mantra about how he would live to be 100 years old for his wife, for his children. And he infused it with so much emotion and purpose that it began to overtake any self-doubt he had. And he said he just said it out loud over and over and over until he fully believed it, until it just completely knocked out any self-doubt he had. Now, I know that's a lot different than doubting yourself or your abilities, but I think it's a great example of what is possible and how we can overcome self-doubt. Self-doubt can be tricky. I struggled with self-doubt for many, many years, and it kept me very small. But I think when I really stepped into my purpose, really realized that there was a purpose for myself in my life. And it started with my daughter. I wanted to make changes in myself, my life, for my child. And because I was doing it for someone else, it wasn't about me. And I was able to more easily, I don't know why that is, but I was able to more easily let go of the self-doubt. And it's interesting because when I started my style coaching practice, I had struggled with self-doubt and low self-esteem for so long. But I think two things happened. One, I wanted to get over all of my stuff for my child and set a really good example. And two, I felt that I stepped into my purpose, and I was on a mission to empower women, to help other women, because I didn't want women to struggle like I had. And I just went out there with this force. And even though I was like, ooh, who am I to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just starting out. But I had this drive, this passion, this burning desire to help other women feel good about who they were. And that overtook any self-doubt I had. My desire to help others became stronger than my doubt for myself. And once that happens, you're unstoppable. Once that overtook, I was like, whoo, okay, look out, I'm doing this. I don't care what anybody says. And I got out there. I look back, I'm like, whoa, I don't know what I did, but I just, went out there full force. I was committed to doing it. And I think for you, whatever it is, do you want to write a book? Do you want to take a trip? Do you want to become an Olympic judge? Do you want to? I know I say that because I know someone who's in their 60s who is an Olympic judge, and she wants to be the best judge in the Olympics. And she's committed. She's in her 60s. And do I think it'll happen? Absolutely. You know why? Because she has eliminated the self-doubt. And she knows where she's going. She believes in herself. And because she believes in herself, everybody else around her believes in her. Like, of course you can do this. You can do anything you put your mind to. And you can do anything you put your mind to. So whatever you want for yourself in the new year, ditch the doubt. It serves no purpose. No purpose. And if you really start to think about self-doubt, where does it come from? It comes from our ego. And it's our ego gets a little scared, And so it's got to put up this flag like, ooh, whoa, who do you think you are? Like, you know what? You know who you are, and you know what you're doing. Whether it's the most simple thing or the most elaborate, complex thing, whatever it is you put your mind to, you can and you will make it happen. And so eliminate the doubt. Go for the goals. And what's the worst thing that can happen? You set your goal, and you think the best part about achieving a goal is who you become in the process. And so even if you don't reach your goal next year, well, you're closer than you were the year before. And you can continue to strive for that, whatever it is. It could be losing 5 pounds. It could be lifting 100 pounds. It could be having a child. It could be getting back out into the dating world. Maybe you want to start being a clothing designer or write a book or paint or garden, or it could be anything. There is zero judgment here. And I want you to have zero judgment of yourself. If you want it, if you desire it, quit second guessing yourself and just do it. Make it happen. And number 4, one thing I want you to let go of is one day. One day is not a day of the week. One day is never going to happen. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll take horseback riding lessons. One day I'm going to go scuba diving. One day I'm going to take a cruise down the Danube. One day is never going to come. What if you flipped that and said, today is day 1 of my goal. Today is day 1 of making things happen. I like to flip that. Instead of one day I'm going to do the thing I've been talking about for many years. I used to say one day a lot. My brother actually says it more than I'd like. And I give him a hard time for it. But I find myself, if I ever find myself saying it, I stop myself. I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. Okay, let's put a date to it. And that's what I encourage you to do. If you find yourself always saying, one day I'm going to get my motorcycle license. One day I'm going to color my hair. One day I'm going to let my hair go natural. Well, when? Set a date. Set a date. The best goals have dates. I've found every time I do goals, I have a date. What will happen and by when? So set a goal. Instead of saying one day, say, okay, on, September 30th of, 2024, I am going to do blank. Set a goal for yourself, quantify it, and see what changes. Make it concrete, and then see how that feels. But when you can let go of the one day is like pie in the sky. It's like, oh, one day I can open a boutique. One day I could be an opera singer. Well, if you truly want it to happen, why wouldn't you put a date on your calendar and say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to research and find out what it takes to be an opera singer, or I'm going to research and find out what it takes to get my real estate license, to write a book, to scuba dive. Start taking the steps and quit saying one day, because one day is really just an excuse. It's an excuse for saying, I don't really value myself enough to make that happen. I'm not important. That's the message it sends. And when you continually say, one day, it's like saying, it'd be nice. But notice as well, if you say one day a lot, is it something you really even want? Or is it something you feel like you should say? But I encourage you to let that phrase go in the new year. Quit saying one day I will blank, and start putting a date to it and start getting specific. Because when you can do that, you will make magic happen. And the fifth thing I encourage you to let go of in the new year, making excuses for your style. Ladies, I don't know what it is. I've been a style coach for 14 years. I love style. Style is my thing, but I don't understand what it is. But somehow I think a lot of women think I'm going to judge them. And I am not. I am not here to judge. I tell people that all the time. I'm not here to judge anybody. And if you can see what I look like right now, I don't exactly look like a fashionista. I've got on a great sweater, but my hair's kind of a hot mess. So it happens to the best of us. But it's just, I like to keep it real. But so many women, if they show up and they see me and they're not looking their best, somehow they feel like they have to make excuses. Well, I was just out running errands. I saw somebody the other day and ran into someone I know in Walgreens. And she was trying to hide. I had somebody I hadn't seen in a long time and loved this woman. She's amazing. She was with her husband and she was trying to hide. She's like, oh, don't look at me. I just rolled out of bed. We had to come get something. I was like, oh my God, you look amazing. I would not have known that if you had not told me. I'm just grateful to see you. And I am not here to judge you in any way, shape, or form. So stop making excuses for your style. But also I encourage you to stop making excuses for your style in terms of why you're not putting yourself together. Well, I've gained weight. Well, I don't really have a style anymore. Well, I'm too busy. And just notice, why are you making excuses? If you are, why are you making excuses for your style? Because the message that sends to everybody around, well, I'm not worth it right now. Well, I've gained weight and I've made myself not worthy, so I'm not going to buy myself any new jeans right now. How does that feel? It feels pretty bad, doesn't it? Instead of making excuses, embrace it. Embrace where you are right now, whatever your weight is, whatever your size is, whatever your circumstance is, and move on. Get over it. Embrace it. Adapt and overcome. That's kind of my Big Daddy's mantra. Adapt and overcome. And move on. But it's interesting because, I talk about shopping a lot, and a lot of men, they gain weight. What do? They take themselves shopping and they go out and they buy all new suits and all new pants and all new shirts, and they don't have any qualms about it. We women, we gain a few pounds and we're like, oh, I've got to go buy new jeans and go up a size. I mean, it's like you'd think they had been told they had to have a root canal or have several teeth pulled. But it's what we make it mean. And when you find yourself making excuses for your style, I want you to ask yourself, what am I making my circumstance mean? Am I making it mean that, well, I've gained 10 pounds, so I don't deserve new clothes? Well, I'm too busy. But what am I really saying? I don't really care. Maybe you don't care. Some people don't. If you don't care, then, that is your choice. However, if you find yourself making excuses, then that tells me that you do care and that you want to do something different. Now, maybe you just don't know what to wear. Maybe you just don't know how to put it together and you're just tired and your body's changed. And if you're like most women I know, something has changed. Your coloring has changed. Your body type has changed. your lifestyle has changed, and you just don't know what to wear anymore. And you might feel like giving up. And so if that's you, then I encourage you to take steps to find out what you need so that you can put yourself together again. If you follow me on Instagram, we offer so much content. How to put together a wardrobe, how to dress for your body type, how to, what to wear if you have a large bust line, what to wear if you're an apple, what to wear if you've got, wide calves. We address all the considerations. There are no flaws. There are only considerations. And so if you find yourself making excuses, ask yourself why. And ask yourself, if I were just to embrace whatever my challenge is right now and overcome, how would that affect my life? Chances are it would boost your confidence. It would boost how you felt about yourself. It would make you feel much more happy. Certainly would make you feel more comfortable. Because if you have gained weight and you're trying to wear the same jeans that you've been wearing for years, then that is not going to be very, very comfortable. But your style should be reflective of who you are. And if it's not, then, there's a little bit of a disconnect. And all that means is that, okay, time to renew, refresh, recharge. Time to rediscover what my style is now. And so if you have lost your style, if you do feel like you've become disconnected, then I encourage you. I actually have a few spots available for Style Reset Retreat here in Raleigh, North Carolina, January 20th through 22nd. I would love to have you come for a hands-on, immersive retreat. It is going to be a makeover from the inside out. And we're going to look at self-doubt and self-sabotaging thoughts. And we're going to look at what you think about your style. And we're going to get over the excuses you make for your style. And we're going to really talk about how to get dressed from the inside out. My philosophy is that fashion is what you wear. Style is who you are. And style starts on the inside. It starts with looking at your hopes, your dreams, your beliefs, what's important to you, your goals. Where do you want to be? And when you know all that, then you know what's right for you. And then you match that with what your considerations are, your coloring, your body type, your style, your personal style. And then it just becomes magical. Everything just flows. And so if you feel called to come join me and other amazing women from all over for a wonderful weekend, a transformative weekend here in Raleigh, then I invite you to click the link, or you can go to Style by Mary Michele. And of course, that's just with one L. And you'll see all the information, all the details, but we've got such a beautiful weekend planned. We're going to kick it off with a reception at my boutique at Style Finder Friday afternoon. And Saturday, we will spend the entire day digging deep, talking about your style, yourself, your self-image, putting it all together, creating a strategy that helps you know what to wear. Saturday night, I have a gorgeous dinner planned, and I'm not going to give away the details, but it is going to be truly magnificent and just a wonderful, wonderful event. And then Sunday, we're actually going to be back at Style Finder. We are going to have the entire boutique to ourselves. We're going to have a private day of shopping, of styling, of playing dress up, because if you've listened to me at all, you know playing dress up is not just about having fun. Although, of course, it is fun. It can be. But it is, in my opinion, it's a very vital part of knowing what to wear. Because if you don't have time to play and understand what works for you, then that's part of the problem. But when you can take that time and play and understand, I need a boot cut, not a straight leg, or I need a certain style top, with a certain style pant? What are my signature silhouettes? How do I put it all together? What are the finishing pieces I need? Do I wear a jacket? What size jacket? What style jacket? There's so many things that go into style. And so you're going to have hands-on help from myself and other expert stylists to ensure you get what's right for you. And you will walk away with a knowledge, with a blueprint, with a confidence that you have not felt before. This is truly a unique experience. I don't know anybody who teaches style the way I do. And there are a lot of amazing style coaches and image consultants around. But the way my perspective, I think because of my own experience, was based on a makeover from the inside out. And so that's really where it all begins. And we're going to walk you through, we're going to have a whole masterclass on color. We're going to look at all the aspects of it. So you really have a comprehensive understanding. It's not just about the clothes, but it is about what you wear and your self-image, because the two are so intertwined. And when who you know yourself to be, the self-image that you have for yourself, when that is aligned with how you present yourself to the world, girl, you will be unstoppable. And it doesn't matter whether you are a stay-at-home mom, whether you are a retiree, whether you are a high-powered businesswoman, this is for you. Because the fundamentals are the same. And I invite you, come, bring your mother, bring your daughter, bring your sister, bring your friend. Do this with a buddy so that once you leave, you two can continue to support each other on your style journey. What a wonderful way to have a deep dive into your own style and share that with someone you care about, who you can support and you know can support you. That would be powerful. So click the link in the show notes and come join me. January 20th through the 22nd. And if you would like to do a personal one-on-one session with me, there is an option for a VIP session. And so if you sign up today, you're going to get early bird pricing because I have extended it for just a few more days. I wanted to make sure that you guys got all the benefits. So grab that. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you in Raleigh. All right, let's go back through this 5 things to let go of in the new year. Number 1, we're letting go of negative people. Number 2, we're letting go of guilt for doing the things you love. Number 3, we're letting go of self-doubt once and for all. Number 4, we're letting go of saying, one day I will blank. And number 5, we're letting go of making excuses for ourselves and our style. Ladies, I hope you have enjoyed these, and I hope as you go into the new year, you will take these to heart. Take what works for you, leave the rest. But I invite you, leave me a review, leave me a comment on Instagram. Let me know about how you like these. Whatever your goals are for the new year, I hope you have an amazing rest of 2022, and I hope your 2023 is fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. I just love you all so much, and I'm so grateful that you're part of the community. Please reach out. Let me know what you want to hear more of. I am here for you. And as we go into 2023, I've got some great things in store. So stay tuned, share this with a friend, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to Style by Mary Michele, where women come to get dressed in 7 minutes or less. If you enjoyed this podcast, I invite you to leave me a 5-star review on iTunes or wherever you're listening.
Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Style by Mary Michele and shop our boutique at shopstylefinder.com for the best in upscale casual apparel. Better yet, if you're in the Raleigh area, come see us. We're located in the North Hills Shopping Center, the premier shopping district in Midtown Raleigh. For details and links mentioned in this episode, be sure to see the show notes. Have a beautiful week.